Perfect.
Oh, cool.
Okay. We're all good to go? All
Yes.
totally set? Okay, great. Okay, so
Yep.
Cutter Locus, how are you?
Hi. I've been good.
Good.
Hi.
Enjoying my retirement.
Right. Um, just to get into this, uh, Red Dead, seen a lot since you've been involved. Just to get it started, would you like to introduce yourself and who you are and what you've did?
I am Cutter Locus. I am the former leader of a group called Current Industry, which was a extremely large group in Red Dead Online, the largest group that was ever made.
Okay. So, getting into this, I figured we would just sort of go over the history, recap, and sort of long format just what Charon is as a whole. Just sort of talk about it, and then finally we can get some statements on your opinion on the Red Dead community now, or possibly what needs to change, if anything needs to change, and sort of just go from there. So, is that cool?
Sure. What you want to know first?
Okay, so starting off, um, how did Charon come to be? Where did you start off? Like, what was the idea behind it?
Me and two of my buddies had just finished up watching Red versus Blue, and we saw the three mercenaries that were in there named Cirrus, Felix, and Locus, and they were a part of a company called Charon Industry. And we decided to name ourselves after those three characters and start our own mercenary group on GTA and start offering work to people, like to help them with a heist or help them with whatever. Um, and as we offered work to people, we found that more often than not, they didn't need any work to be done. They just wanted to join. Um, and so we kept trying to give people names for the first 50 or so. And then eventually we gave up. RDR was coming out soon. And we decided, hey, let's go ahead and take it over to Red Dead. As soon as Red Dead came out, we moved all of our people over there. We kept growing, kept expanding, and just whenever a new crew would pop up, we would try to help them get established. So groups like Core, we would help them design their uniforms. We would help them design their logos. We would commission the same logo artist that made ours to make theirs. Um, we just tried to help build the community, I guess. Which is why kind of the Xbox community kind of survived a lot longer than the PlayStation community did. I really think is because of in that initial stage of the game starting, we kind of already had a crew built, whereas most people were like not really even thinking about building crews when the game first came out, and then they kind of slowly ramped up. But Karam was already built when Red Dead started.
Okay, so just staying on GTA for a little bit. When was the GTA thing? What year?
Ooh.
So 2018, or a little bit before, because that's when Red Dead came out.
Yeah, I think around maybe a year or
Just take over for
so
a second.
before. Yeah, I think a year or so before um GTA or RDR came out. I'm gonna try to find out which year that was. Um, this about 6 years ago.
Wow. Okay. So Red Dead came out. You transitioned over there. Um, your whole thing was just helping people, sort of on GTA, and eventually, people just started joining you. Did you ever still continue to try and help people with like heists, or was it more just so like a clan at that point, like an average clan on GTA?
On GTA, yeah, it became mostly just a clan on GTA. But when we came to RDR, we actually did started getting a lot more contracts, as we call them. And that was kind of when we started to make like kind of like a profit model for Charon. To where we started to treat it kind of like a business, and we started to treat members like um they were actually mercenaries. We really wanted to put them into, okay, you're gonna go help out with this, okay, I need you people to go there to go do this, and kind of started spreading really wide outwards.
Okay. Um, so just real quick, closing off GTA. Um, so you left. You didn't have like really an interest in GTA. Honestly, you just sort of left it after Red Dead came out.
No, I never had any good interactions on with any of the clans in GTA.
What were they
I
like?
didn't
Can you expand on that a little bit?
I didn't really have any interaction with most of the clans in the beginning, until I came across a group called USMCX, who approached us and made threats. This was our first experience with another clan. We were like fresh out the gates, maybe a month into Karan existing. So we were legitimately a baby clan. Karan meant nothing at that time. And USMCX came about, and they were basically telling us that we need to join them or they're going to boot us. We didn't know what that meant at the time. I had no fucking idea. None of my people knew what the fuck that was until we started having our internets turned off. Um, and around that time, we really fucking hated that. We had no idea what to do. We tried the whole shtick of, well, we'll do it back to you. We had no fucking idea how to do that. But yeah, it was a rough time when that was happening, and then we got introduced to the rest of the clan community from that interaction against USMCX, and we fucking hated USMCX to the bone.
Right. So you just said like, fuck this. GTA's. These people are stupid. These people are dumb. Let's just
Not really.
leave and actually start anew.
No, we stayed around until Red Dead came out. We were like, let's try this. Maybe
Yeah,
there's
that's what I mean.
there's no toxicity in Red Dead because it hasn't started yet. The community has not been born. It's not as toxic as GTA had become.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You stayed on GTA for a little bit. It's like, this is just too annoying. Let's just start anew on Red Dead.
Yeah,
Because of Red Dead, or not Red Dead, GTA beef is just retarded.
it's so bad. Yeah.
Right.
There
Okay,
was no
so
passive mode. There was no God mode. There was none of these things that go on in GTA now.
right. So going into Red Dead, you start out. How many people did you have going into Red Dead?
I think around 400, which
400.
still a lot. Not
Oh, yeah.
compared to the later Charon, but that's still a fuck ton of people, and especially like day one starting out. Like you can see like some of our Red Dead beta uniforms look very Red Dead beta looking, but
Yeah.
it was still you'd see like 30 dudes in like the basic t-shirt.
Yeah.
But it was a start for us.
So going into Red Dead, when did this sort of business model of contracts and mercenaries really begin? Did it begin immediately as soon as you entered Red Dead, or you're like, we can? Did you come into Red Dead and realize that you can actually do something more than just typical clan stuff?
No, originally we were just trying to play the game because it's a new game. Everybody's kind of getting the hang of things, and then we started to find things that we could do. So we would the first business model, this is before any of the roles or anything came out, was we would send out teams to go and hunt and collect a bunch of stuff, and then we would offer it to players like, hey, we have 90 animal carcasses over here, you send us $5 or whatever, we'll give you all of them. And then that was the beginning of that kind of business model back when Red Dead first came out.
Okay. So so first year Red Dead Charon. Is there anything sort of like, that's when you really began to grow? So you had 400 members going in. How much did it grow? Did it really just it became itself in that first year, or did it take some more time?
So Charon basically started out as the biggest group. So, I mean, as soon as new crews came about, we made a lot of allies, we made a lot of enemies at the same time. So, I mean, it was around, that same like basic starting era that we immediately got into scraps with groups that would start up. I can't remember who the first group that we fought was. I think it was one of the World Wars that started. I don't remember what World War One was, but I think that was. I think it might have been. I think maybe I have a video on it.
Yeah, looking at your YouTube channel, you go from making GTA content, and that was 6 years ago, and then 5 years ago, it says you enter, Red Dead. Your first videos are on Crossfire Company, which is not around now, and some other stuff like that. Actually, looking at your Red Dead videos, you have several Red Dead videos, and then you have a GTA video. So were you
Yeah.
still somewhat on GTA as you were going into Red Dead?
Yeah, we still had some people that hadn't gotten the game yet, or we were still kind of doing both. And we did
And
both for quite a while.
when did you finally just leave GTA? Was that within a couple months
Um,
of Red Dead coming out?
I think it took like a year.
Okay.
And then we were off Red Dead for a long time, and then I think eventually we came back for a little bit and then left again.
Okay.
I think what brought us back for a little bit was one of the crews that we fought on Red Dead fucked off and went to GTA. We're like, we're not done with you. We went after him in GTA because all of us still had fucking all of our GTA stuff. We still knew how to do all that, so we went after him in GTA after that.
Right. So is there any okay, so you have your first year of Red Dead and these videos go back 5 years. So there's about, I don't know, about 3 or 4 years of history there. So first year, second year of Charon, anything notable happen other than battles and helping out people?
World
Any
Wars.
controversies?
Yeah, we had well, the Red Dead community has always been way more dramatic than the GTA community ever was. Red Dead had this problem where there was no scoreboard. And I think that was genuinely what made Red Dead such a pain in the dick to fight on. There was no telling who was winning. The way that the Red Dead community decided early on that the winner of a fight was who left.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is the stupidest fucking thing that I can imagine.
I'm so glad we can agree on that.
Because
Yeah.
Carl would fight a group for 10 hours, and then they would just leave one dumb fuck in there to fight 10 guys.
Yeah.
And then we'd be like,
yeah.
all right, we're done. We're leaving. We're out of this. And then we'd see on Instagram, Carl, leaving the lobby, and it's a guy sitting inside of a trading post with his catalog open, looking at the lobby numbers and just hitting record from fucking, some random fast travel point that he's at.
Yeah.
It was genuinely
all
annoying.
about those tricks. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it'd always get put up on Instagram, and so then we would always have to go, all right, here's a kill feed compilation. Here's a compilation of us just fucking. Here's the kill feed. I'm highlighting the kill feed. It's blue kills red, blue kills red, blue kills red, blue kills red.
Right.
Yeah.
And it no matter what, it was always drama. And then if you couldn't beat a group in a battle, the way that the Red Dead community decided was, well, they have more people than us. We can't beat them in a fight. We can't outlast them in a fight. What's another form of attack that I can do? I'll do an attack on reputation. Way too often in the Red Dead community is just accusations blindly thrown around. And it can be about anything. It can be, they're booters, they're cheaters, they're lag switching, they're running away, they're using off the radar, whatever it would be, whatever excuse you wanted to come up with. They're pedophile, whatever you wanted to come up with, whatever you could do to make, and what the attack intention is to make people leave that group. They're bad people. Oh, they're bullies. They're doing this or they're doing that. Or they're using people or whatever you wanted to come up with. If you could make the members of that group believe it, you could make that group lose members. Generally, we were incredibly open with our members. So that's why even most groups would get shut down by a good propaganda campaign that gets started in the Red Dead community, because it's stressful as fuck, because you have to defend yourself from accusations that aren't even true, which is hard as fuck to do. And it's like a weird microcosm of the internet now, because no matter what creator you look at anywhere on the internet, somebody hates them and has something terrible to say about them. Yeah. Think of any creator that you like right now and tell me that they haven't been in some weird, crazy controversy that's been blown out of proportion. People even accuse the most non-controversial figure I can think of is Moist Critical. When Moist Critical was giving money away just to his fans to be nice, people are like, "Oh, well, he's doing it to avoid paying his taxes."
Yeah, just like ridiculous.
He's abusing his fans. He's doing it only to avoid paying his taxes. That's the only reason he's doing it. People can't just believe that you're just doing something to have fun or doing something because you want to be a good person. When you put on this red shift onto every action that a group takes, you're going to believe that whatever Charon does is evil. No matter what we do, it doesn't matter. It could be the smallest thing, it could be the biggest thing. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, you're going to perceive it as the worst possible thing because you have red tinted glasses towards Charon or towards any group. And that type of toxicity that exists within Red Dead is never going away because it works. And it works on the internet. Nobody can fight Moist Critical, but if you dislike Moist Critical, you can just start talking shit about him.
Yeah, poisoning the well.
Yeah. And eventually, it might work. It might not. At the end of the day, it's just what you have to do on the internet. But that's one of the things I think that killed the community. Eventually, I just got tired of trying to constantly be on a defensive. I could fight somebody, and then I would have to spend the next 2 days arguing online, which just isn't fun. I'm not having fun doing that.
Right.
Charon
It's understandable.
Huge, and it was constantly putting out, and a lot of other group leaders that I've talked to have agreed with my sentiment on this. It's fun building the sandcastle, but at a certain point, the tide is coming in, and you're spending so much time trying to keep the sandcastle together that it's no longer fun, and you're no longer building the sandcastle. You're just trying to hold it together. At Charon's peak, it was something like 6,000, 7,000 members at its peak, which is way too many fucking people for me in college to be handling. And a lot of people like to think that I'm 40.
Yeah, just never manage them all.
I'm not. Yeah, a lot of people like to think I'm 40 or whatever. I'm not. I'm 24 now. Turned 24 like last month. So when I started Charon, it was 2016, 2017. So I wasn't even out of high school when I started Charon. And to be spending a lot of time defending yourself from all these wild fucking crazy people was a giant pain in the ass. I even had a video on my YouTube channel which was called Debunking Booting, because we got accused of being booters so often, that I made this entire long video talking and explaining how we're not booters and how us owning Octosniff doesn't make us booters. We bought it and told our members to buy it for the sake of blacklisting them. Because if you guys were around during the Octosniff era, there was a website that you could type any user's name into, and it would give you their IP. And the only way to get off of that list was to pay for Octosniff and hide your IP. Otherwise, you were just free range. Anybody who had your username could just knock you offline, which is insane. Didn't have to be in a party, didn't have to be in the lobby. Just having your username and hitting a button on a free website would wipe you out. And so we started telling our members, we're like, yo, buy this, blacklist yourself, don't use it. And people were like, what? They're booters! I'm like, oh, you fuckers. It's how the community goes.
Like, the most fucked up part about that is the fact that, like these days, booting isn't even like as criminal, like a tenth of as criminal as it used to be. Like, I remember a time, I'm sure you do too, where like if booting was a thing, it's like, oh my god. But like now, people don't even care. Like, you have to be like the worst of the worst for people to even turn their heads. It's, I mean, if you've read the stuff, that we've put out, it's just appalling.
Yeah, and I remember People at the time accused me of, and I see a lot of what's happening now. It's a lot of pedophilia that goes on in the community.
Shocking amount, and the people that just, I mean,
I at least appreciate now that there's proof, because at the time I got accused of being a pedophile for dating Isabel. Isabel and me are 1 year apart. Me and Isabel are no longer together, but me and Isabel are a year apart, and people just fucking lost their shit about it. Which was the most annoying fucking thing in the world, because that's the most horrible thing that a human being can do.
mm-hmm.
And now it's commonplace on RDR, which is
More or less.
it's scary, and it's commonplace among creators now.
Yeah.
Fucking Dr. Disrespect over here is fucking chatting up 16-year-old girls.
Yeah, like fighting about legal definitions of like what sex means or something.
And it reminds me of Dr. Disrespect case. Reminded me of the Commandos.
Oh, okay. Well,
because I went after. I was good friends with the Commandos, and I went up to him. I was like, "Yo, what the fuck are you guys doing?" What a lot of people don't know about Charon, only like crew leaders kind of know this. Most general people don't know this. Charon had so most people know Charon's 3 divisions. If you're in Gaia, all of theirs are just copies of what Charon did. Everything Gaia does is a copy of Charon. But you had the Mentors, the Hunters, and the Guardians. And those were our 3 divisions. We had 4. We had a 4th division that was called Shadows. And all that they did was we would send these people into different crews. They would go to a different crew. They would be a member full time. They would not come to Charon events. They would not join Charon parties. They would not hang out with Charon members. They would go there and permanently stay in that crew. One of the shadows that existed was Zeus, BDE Zeus. He was a shadow. And when Core originally betrayed us the first time, we told Zeus, you're like, all right, shut it down. And he wiped their crew. Wiped their Discord, wiped their everything off the face of the planet. Which is so funny now, because after Zeus took his own life, I talked to him a day before it happened. After Zeus took his own life, there was fucking Sober trying to act like he was his best friend, which still pisses me the fuck off to this day, because he was not. And we pulled up all the messages that we had from our other spies that were in Core of Sober talking about, yeah, I'm not really Zeus's friend. I'm just playing him. I'm going to throw him to the side later and blah, 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 blah. The community's just fucking toxic like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of people who have lost their lives for it. And the Mike Hound is another great example. Because Mike Hound, news came out that Mike Hound took his own life. Whole community jumps into uproar, and who is Mike with last? Cutter. Everybody, oh my God, Cutter's the reason why Mike Hound killed himself. And Mike Hound, who didn't actually do it, was faking it, came out and was like, fuck all of you guys. Cutter was the only person who ever checked up on me when I was going through depression. I faked it to get out of this community. So I just want to clear his name and then fuck the rest of you. So it's just a fucking crazy situation. Because I remember I was sitting there, I was defending myself from the Mike Hound accusations, and I was going, no, I was great friends with Mike. What the fuck are you guys talking about? No, I never did anything wrong to him. I was his great friend. I was helping him out with his crew and all this and blah, blah, blah. After I found out he faked it, I got really upset at him and all this, but he did it to leave the community and to get back at a girlfriend that was in the community who didn't want to be with him anymore. But it was this whole fucking thing where he came back from the fucking dead to defend me.
What crew did he run?
I'm trying to think of it right now. I think if I go back, if you search up Mike Hound, you should be able to find it. My memory is not as great as it should be. Mike Hound. That's not him. No.
Not to be.
I can't remember what it was called.
That's all right. Did
It
you
was
have anybody in
Round
Western
War or
Empire?
something like that. Spies in Western Empire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had one, and that was kind of the person who kind of alerted our alarm bells to this.
Ah.
And I showed you I think I sent you guys directly my messages that I had when I confronted Western Empire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Consumer, defending it, which is nuts. But
And you had an alliance with them, I do
I
believe.
did.
And did you just completely cut off contact when that came out?
Yeah, when we found out about those accusations, we had an actual sit down. We met up in game. And I kind of gave them like an ultimatum. I was like, you have like X amount of time to remove this person, or we're not going to be allies anymore, or we're going to go to war. And I think shortly after that, we kind of left. So we weren't able to really fulfill that promise, but yeah, we were not happy with Western Empire from that period on.
It's unfortunate. They are still around to this day. They
They-
are very relentless when it comes to Red Dead for very
they
little
won't.
reason. It's very strange.
That's the one thing we want to know so desperately. Like, why do they keep coming back to this game? You know, they've got some obsession with coming back.
It's very odd. It is
So,
very odd.
Like,
I was one of Western Empire's allies, so I knew them at least decently well. They go by generations.
yes.
Yep.
So all their group disbands, and then they kind of come back, and then they disband, they come back. This is kind of their trend. The same thing with Core. Whenever Core gets their ass beat, they shut down. We're never coming back. And then as soon as the person that beat their ass kind of settles down, they're like, "We're back. Never went anywhere." Like that was kind of their
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're going to GTA. We're getting our ass kicked on GTA. We're back to Red Dead. We're getting our ass kicked on Red Dead. We're back to GTA.
It's good to see that Core's always been a punching bag.
I made Core. I made Core. That's the most disappointing thing about it. When I put Zeus into Core, I was like, all right, we're gonna build them up. If you look at Core, and people still don't understand this. Charon Industry. Charon is a Greek god, and it's like a company name afterwards. Cerberus. Yeah. Cerberus is a Greek god. Contracting is like a company name after it. Their logo was made by the same person that we had make our logo. We made their logo for them. Their uniforms are the Charon uniform, but red. We just gave them everything. We gave a copy of our Discord, how you can copy a template, and gave them that. We set up Core, and then Sober was like, I don't need them. And we're like, all right, shut their crew down. And it deleted the entire crew, and it took months for Sober to come back after that, and then hated us from then on.
He came back, and didn't Dave Crusaders shut them down afterwards?
Stomp them flat. That was a funny time.
And that was about it.
So.
And they just Mongol hoarded them until they shut down, and then they just disbanded after that.
Our last video, I think, is absolutely dog
is
walking
Core.
the fuck out of Core.
Yeah, it's just bullying them. Yeah.
But we went to battles with many crews. The deal is, after a certain point, Charon had kind of a brand reputation to protect, and the thing that we went for is, we might not beat you in every battle. You might have some really goated fucking players who are doing bot spins and shit like this. But we'll fucking shut your crew down. We'll fucking shut it down. Yeah. 90% of the crews that we went up against, we kicked them off of fucking Red Dead. Because what we excelled at was annoyance. We had so many more people, and we had such a good spy network that we could always get into their games. We could always get into their lobbies. And we could just send 10 people, 20 people, 30 people at just any random member who hops online. Which just makes it fucking possible to play. My favorite example is USMCX, because we hated them and we wanted to make a video out of everything. We did 6 videos in a row on USMCX, just fucking dogging on them over and over and over and over and over again until they got off of Red Dead. Because those were the motherfuckers who started our fucking torment on GTA. USMCX, when they came to Red Dead, we were like, it's fucking go time. This is our territory now, motherfuckers. Guess who's
Yeah.
the new dog?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that was by the way, but just real quick, you said something about Gaia. So Core copied you, Gaia copied you.
Well, we made Core. So that had like kind of our blessing. We made Core and we founded the Hades Alliance.
Which was who was in the Hades line?
I'd have to go back through my old Instagram posts to check the exact groups. If you go to like the old car Instagram, you'll see like 4 different groups that all have. There was a red, black, and gray, which is us, a yellow, and a blue. It was all the Charon uniforms, but in different colors. We kind of made them to look like our different divisions, but as different groups. And all of those groups were here. I might be able to find it. Here it is. Cerberus Contracting. Oh, that was the original Karvkin Empire. And 109th Red Matriarchy, which wasn't their name at the time. And that was when we founded the Hades Corporation. And at that same time, we also had the Pillar Coalition, which the Pillar Coalition was supposed to be, these are the biggest groups in Red Dead. Here's our alliance with them. And at that time, it was Vilified, Western Empire, and First Iron Rangers. And we were all in a coalition together. I think I eventually fought with every single one of those groups.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn. All right. So and Gaia was like another one of those sort of.
Gaia, we were allies with Gaia towards the end of Charon, and then after Charon shut down, we kind of moved a lot of our members over there. Gaia's not bad. What Gaia does is Gaia's kind of like a carbon copy of Charon. When Charon closed, all the members rushed over to Gaia. If you look at how they do their logos, it looks like kind of a Charon logo. You look at their divisions, it's like the Charon divisions. They're even color coded the same. You look at their Discord, it's the same as the Charon Discord. Like the yellow division handles recruitment, the red division handles fighting, the blue division handles security. And what I don't like is coffee from Gaia.
I think I've
Because
encountered them once or twice.
the drama that I got into at the end of Charon was I was with Isabel, but I was also in another like relationship, kind of a fling with another person that was in Charon. And people had this big shit fit about it, thinking that I was like cheating on Isabel. Until Isabel came out and was like, no, this is how we kind of have our relationship set up. And then people kind of calmed down. But at that point, I was so pissed. I just was like, I'm done with this fucking shit. I don't need people prying into my private life. I don't need to divulge anything about my private life or who I'm in a relationship with or not. And that was kind of my last straw with that. And again, I don't know why anybody cares. The person that I was with is like, I don't know how old she is. She's like 40-ish, I think. Way older than me.
Right.
Dang.
Like, she has kids, and I don't understand why it's a problem for anybody in the community to be involved with. It was Little Miss, if anybody's curious. If
Okay.
anybody knows who Little Miss is.
I don't.
But it, again, doesn't matter. Like, it was the stupidest shit in the world to me.
Right.
Mm.
And that was one of the things I was like, I'm not going into my private life over this group.
Yeah.
There's no point.
Yeah.
No.
This community has a certain ability to involve itself way too much.
That is true. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they try and like pry into your private life,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
especially with like.
What?
I was just gonna say, especially with like these kind of doxing servers that seem to be in trend now.
Anything sex related is huge news in the Red Dead community because it's like a gotcha.
Yeah.
If you're dating somebody in the community and you break up and your nudes get out, it's over for you. Like what? You guys should be angry at the person leaking, not the person who did it. They were in a consenting relationship. Why are you acting like they're the clown? Like I don't understand it. Thankfully, that never happened to me.
Right.
But
Did you know recently? Apparently, I heard one thing about it, and that's about it. Apparently, Gaia had their own doxing server. So
I
I don't know
haven't
what
heard
happened.
anything about that.
It was very fringe. I don't know. Dish, do you know even who we heard it from? Because I just remember hearing one thing
I
about it. That's it.
um I can't say that I do remember, but I do remember hearing. I can't remember where it came from, but I do specifically remember hearing about it. Like we hear all kinds of stuff. I mean, most of it's we can't really substantiate, so we don't really doesn't really get posted. But the things that we're
That's
pretty
true.
sure on, we always try and put together as best we can. Though people tend to disagree with our assessments for one reason or another.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't think Gaia is a bad group. I dislike how Coffee kind of ganged up on me towards the end. When there was like this whole controversy going on. And people Coffee kind of switched up and was like, well, he shouldn't be doing that with members of his group. Coffee, your second in command is the person you're dating. Like I called him out on it directly. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, that's different. It's not. It's not different at all. You spend all day with these people, eventually, some tomfoolery is going to happen because we're fucking adults. It's an adult game that people are going to do some shit on this game, whether you like it or not. Any time that you spend with a lot of people, things like this are going to happen. And so for him to come at me and say the same thing that he's doing was just annoying as fuck to me. And there was a bunch of other drama at the same time that was going on. The community was just always drama.
it always is. Yeah. So just circling back real quick, you get on to you go from GTA to Red Dead. You're just going at it with USMCX. So this is going on up till 3 years ago. So this is some time ago. You have 6 videos or a little bit more on USMCX. How did that sort of thing end with USMCX? Because it seems like you're doing your own like mercenary thing at the beginning while also beefing with them and some smaller other groups. I would imagine there's the status quo that you were also keeping while having these battles. So how did these sort of battles end with USMCX? Did they leave Red Dead after just getting mollywopped or?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just what happened after so many battles. They just left.
Yeah. The ending, I think, of the 6th video does a really good demonstration of how things kind of ended. I think we took all of them. They all left, and at that time, like literally during that video, they left Red Dead, and they left one of their allies there, who was called 7th Cav, I think.
7th Cav, you say? That's really interesting.
Is it?
Yeah. I can't remember the guy's name.
David.
Crimson Alucard was his name at the time. They
Okay.
left him there, and we hogtied him, and the glitch to like dodge on the horse.
Yeah,
to, like,
you're
keep
dunking
them
him over and
hogtied.
over again in the water, and just like messing with him.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
made it so he couldn't respawn or kill himself or anything like that, and just like kept him in the water to like get close to drowning and then pull him out and then throw him back in and then pull him out and throw him back in. We just kept doing that with him until eventually he died because one person had a hangman card and accidentally hung him in the water. And then he parlayed everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wiped USMCX off the map because they set that up as an ambush. They thought they had played us. They thought they'd set up this big ambush and they'd gotten themselves and the allies there and almost filled up the lobby. And we just fucking swiped the shit out of them.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's just like completely devastated them. So going on the timeline, this is just like with the YouTube. So you have, like I said, you have your mercenary thing. Just before we talk about that, So you have your USMCX thing. You're fighting also smaller battles with other milsims, but then eventually you have the Zumi fiasco video. Can we ask you about this? Is this? Can we talk
So
about this?
in the Zumi Fiasco video, he put in this part where he makes it seem like I reached out to him. I didn't. What had happened was, I mean, if you even read the message, it's not like I reached out to him. I was in his Discord, and he was talking about the White Light video. The White Light video is the one about Reaper Lords. He was like, I need to find a group that's better or bigger than this. And then somebody reached out to me and was like, you should go talk to Zumi Fiasco. And I hopped into a call with him, and he eventually reached out to me. He gave me a call, and he was like, send me your guys' like website or whatever. And that's why the first message you see is, hey, did you check out the website yet? Because we had hopped into a call because he was trying to emulate the Reaper Lords video, because that one had like fucking shit tons of views, and he wanted
It had like 1 million views.
yeah, he wanted to get that many views. He wanted to do the same thing, but find a group that wasn't as cringe. Sorry, we were allies with Reaper Lords, but
It doesn't matter. They're long
we were
gone.
no, they're still around. I think.
Are they?
So Reaper Lords
Oh.
was a PlayStation group. They had an Xbox chapter, which is small. To this day, we are Reaper Lords' only ally. Because
Jesus.
yeah, we were Reaper Lord's only ever ally. Reaper Lord's allied with nobody else because they didn't get along. They didn't agree with anybody else's ideals. And Karn was like, "We can help you guys fight." And they're like, "All right."
Man.
So we were Reaper Lord's only ally, but we were bigger than Reaper Lords. And so when that video came out, it was originally titled "Rolling with Red Dead's Biggest Clan." And then eventually it got changed to Red Dead's Most Disciplined Clan, because Zumi was like, "This is the biggest clan. You're wrong."
Yeah.
But Zumi just basically wanted to take the White Light video and kind of do something similar. But we're not as role play. We don't make our members run around in the woods fighting a bear. We
stand in an empty server for 6 hours.
That video has 4 million fucking views. That's crazy.
The Karon video has like 1.8 or 1.3.
1.3. Yeah, it's crazy too. That's like it's actually enormous.
I still get recognized even now. I get messages. I'd say get a message a day, or a message every 2 days, asking, "Hey, can I join Karon?" All the fucking time. All the fucking time.
Yeah. So this video comes out. Let's just so he contacts you because he wants to do something like that. What was the just the process of what was the sort of timeline for, I don't know, I guess the week during this video being made and say after?
It really wasn't that crazy. He didn't have an Xbox at the time, so we literally went to, because Karn actually had a lot of money, real life money that we made. Like, Karn actually was a profitable thing, which is not many people think about. Karn actually had money. We bought him an Xbox. So we bought him an Xbox. We sent him the money to go get one. He picked it up that same day. Installed Red Dead, and was literally like, the only actual filming that we did with him was the mansion tour. That was the only filming that we did. The rest of the filming was all filming that I had done for music videos or something else. So we actually had a lot of background video stuff from the video that we called Wanted Man. So we had a lot of footage from the Wanted Man video. And we just sent that to him to use in the video, and that's how he made the video. He just walked around. We did an interview. He talked to some of the members in a party, recorded that, took our footage from the video that we were about to put out, and just sent it out. And then that made him 1.3 million views.
That's fucking crazy. So this video happens. During the video, just still talking about the video, there is a moment where if I remember correctly, Zumi asked somebody who you helped, I do believe it is, and he says he was like, what does he say in the video? He's like, I asked Colin for help. I reached out to them. I was getting griefed constantly, and they joined on me and then completely wiped out the griefers to the point where the griefers were apologizing to me. Is that true? Is that a real thing that happened? Is that a real customer?
I remember so we had in the car Discord we had a section for clients. And since
Yeah.
he had the VIP role, he could just reach out to clients. So I think he just messaged somebody that had recently like because he can see in the chat, he can see who recently requested for stuff. And so he just like messaged a couple people and asked if they could talk about Kron.
Okay. That's a
Is
real. Like
yeah,
real?
and that happened more often than not. Like somebody would get
Uh.
just like absolutely kind of like fucking bullied on Red Dead, and they would if human anger has no bounds. If somebody is like a real douche to you, paying $5 to watch them get absolutely smacked is kind of funny. So
Right.
we had no problem doing that. If somebody's fucking with you and you pay us $5, yeah, we'll fuck with them back. Like no problem.
Right. So this video happens. From what I wasn't around back then, but from what I've heard of talking to people who were around back then, what happened was that video got released, shit ton of views.
Yeah, he was expecting like
Zumi,
100, 200K.
a lot fucking more than that. So, Zumi, from what I understand, was harassed viciously for this video by Vilified, I think, to the point where he just stopped playing. Is that true?
No. He got some mean comments, but it like the amount of mean comments that he got from like Vilified or whatever, or like groups in the community, were nothing. What he was mostly pissed off about was like Red Dead wasn't getting any updates. And I actually became good friends with Zumi over this time. Like I actually have some conversations with him. He kind of viewed this video as like a last Hail Mary.
Yeah.
To like kind of continue being on Red Dead. And it was a good video, but then like he kind of was just getting like really fed up. And around that same time, like Pineapple also quit, who is another YouTuber. And he just couldn't do it. Dumi's a good guy, but no, he didn't get like bullied off because of his connection with Charon. No, it was just that he just
got bored.
No, he was a Red Dead YouTuber and Cyberpunk was coming out. And so he pivoted to like Cyberpunk, like YouTubering stuff. And then that fucking failed as well. And then he deleted the videos, or he deleted a bunch of them, and then tried to go back to. He tried to make a GTA server, and then that failed. And then he tried to go back to Red Dead, and that kind of failed. Then he just quit.
Okay.
But yeah, literally right after the Kron video, everything was good. He was getting, he had dropped down to like 30K views, 70K views, 30K views. And then our video came out and that hit 1 million. And then it jumped him back up to like hundreds and 70s. And then he was like, all right, well, now I can get out of Red Dead. I'm getting traction on my channel. Cyberpunk's coming out. So he starts doing Cyberpunk videos and then he tries to go back and he's trying to find a niche where he can be successful. And it just fucking didn't work out.
Right. So, so that's USMCX. You enter Red Dead, you fight them, you bully them off. They have the Zumi Fiasco video. During this time, you have mercenaries and you have clients. What were the services you offered?
Anything.
Just anything, literally anything.
Yeah,
People,
I didn't really
people
care.
people paid real life money for these?
Yeah, usually. Or like promotion is something else that we would do. So
Oh.
like if we help you out, we want you to like post some of our stuff on your stories or like share some of our stuff around.
Okay.
So we would do stuff like
What was
that.
the sort of like average? How much did people usually pay? Like
Most we ever
$5?
had, yeah, it was never very much.
Huh.
Honestly, sometimes we would do stuff for free. Because we have 6,000 mercenaries and like a handful of people that really like need us to do stuff. So if you kind of make the price cheap or if you make it low, I can send my mercenaries to go do stuff because they want to do stuff because Red Dead doesn't have a lot to do. So that's something for them to do. And we would try to make sure that the money goes back to the crew. So we didn't really pocket a whole lot of it. So we'd buy like VPNs and stuff, or we would upgrade the Discord, or we would pay for like logo designers and stuff like that.
How long did that service continue on for? Like right up till the end, or?
Yeah.
Right on.
I shut down Caron. I mean, when I left Caron, it was at its peak. Like it was still growing. It was still doing well. It was still big. I was just so fed up with Red Dead. I was so fed up with the drama. I was so fed up with the community in general. I hated
Right.
people prying into my private life. I hated constantly needing to defend myself. I hated constantly needing to fight for 13, 14, 15-hour battles. I hated constantly putting out fires inside of my own crew because people would get up in arms about each other. Well, we're gonna leave if you don't kick this person out. Well, we're gonna leave if you don't kick them out. And it's just the whole drama
Very
of running a group. You see how most groups can't really make it past 100 to 200 members. Think about the amount of fires and drama that I had to deal with 6,000.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah, I'd
fucking
imagine.
nightmare.
Yeah.
And I had a really good team, which made it easier, but yeah, it was still fucking nightmarish.
Right. So, going past the Zumi fiasco thing, going from your YouTube channel, you have the music video, and then you have the World Wars. It starts at World War IV. There's nothing else. There's no World War III or II or one here. There's just World War IV. So, did you get involved in the first 3 World Wars on Red Dead?
I got involved. I can't remember if I think I got involved in all 4. Now that I think back on it, I don't think I made videos on them. But if you go to the car on Instagram and you look at our highlights, I think you can see every group we ever fought through our highlights. Let me scroll back and see if I can find World War One. Red Dead World War II.
Yeah, this stuff always like fascinated me because like this is before I started playing, or we started playing really. All these like different world wars were just going on.
Yeah, I see. I don't think we were involved in Red Dead World War One. So I was wrong on that. But we were involved in World War II, World War III, and World War IV.
Okay. So, World War IV. This is sort of XVI and Vilified versus you. How did you get pulled into this, and what sort of happened?
So it started with Vilified going to work with USMCX, which kind of pissed us off because at the time we were just helping Vilified over and over and over again. They would constantly call us in for fights, and we would never ask the same. We started fighting Vilified. We started pushing them into like their moonshine shacks and standing out in front of it and just fucking with them. And then eventually XVI jumped in and like made this kind of like pact with Vilified, Rot, and 1IR. And it led to a battle that took place on like New Year's Eve, and it lasted all the way through into New Year's Day. And so we kind of called it the war that lasted a year. But yeah, I think I have a video that really goes over like the exact nuances of it, because it was kind of a weird, complicated kind of situation. Hey, let me check. I
think it's a good thing that so much of this stuff is kind of recorded. Otherwise, it would just be
how did this start?
lost in the wind.
Yeah, I have an entire like 4-minute video where I just kind of like break down bit by bit how it kind of happened. Because the details are kind of lost on me at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, NBD, Never Back Down, popped up as well. They were in that. Yeah, we really scrapped with XVI the hardest during that war.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because Swift was like, he wanted to grow his YouTube channel. And I'm good friends with Swift now. Me and him have
That's
actually
good.
no bad blood.
Yeah.
But Swift legit was just like, yeah, if I just made videos about you guys, I'd get shitloads of views.
Yeah.
And he was like, and I could just say anything. So you could call us cheaters, lag switchers, booters, whatever, anything in the world, and people would just eat it up. And so he just made fucking videos about it. And then eventually he did it to Reaper Lords too. He got them involved. So he started going after Reaper Lords and trying to make videos about Reaper Lords. So he was just trying to get kind of attention for his channel. But in terms of like actual hate, like me and Swift don't actually hate each other.
Right.
At the time, we were not friends, but now,
Yeah.
we've had conversations about the war and why it happened.
Right on. Right on.
But yeah, he didn't have any sort of beef. He didn't actually hate Koron. He just saw it as an opportunity to go after the big dog and be the underdog and get the people's support through that.
Right.
Because Koron 100% was the big dog, and everybody wants to root for the underdog.
Right. Yeah, so you have like a huge. I mean, you're just going back and forth with this dude on these videos, straight beefing with XVI. I don't think there was ever an ending, at least on your YouTube page. So how did it just like end? Did you guys just like, okay, we're done? Like, how did it?
What ended it was it's a video that I took down, and it was the debunking booting video. And it because Swift kept going on and on about how we were booters, and I put out this document and this video that kind of wiped our hands of the booting accusation, and then we showed a bunch of footage and screenshots and recordings of a shadow or a spy that we had in their group recording their voice chats, Swift asking people to boot for him, getting this like 14-year-old kid called the Child of Prophecy to boot the most and to call in SWATs because he's a minor and he can't get arrested for it. That was his reasoning. And so he did that a whole bunch, and when that video came out, it kind of made him take a step back, and then everything kind of cooled down after that. And Swift will tell you now, yes, they were booting. He was denying it like crazy at the time, but now he'll tell you like, yeah, I was. He was doing it.
That's lovely. Okay. So, eventually, like, that sort of happens, the whole World War happens. You make a music video, and then finally the last video on your channel is the core.
Yeah.
The core video. Okay, so what happened with core and how they got mollywopped?
Yeah, somehow core returned again. So we had a couple videos. So we made that video, and we're like, we're gonna make more videos, and then core just kind of dipped, and we were like halfway through video 2 of like getting the footage for it, and we're just like, okay. And then shortly after that, like, it kind of went on a hiatus, and the drama happened. Everybody started fighting in Karon, accusations being thrown, people throwing pissy fits about nothing. Kind of like a big rift in the group.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, fuck it, I'm done.
Okay.
And
So
then,
okay. Yeah. So that whole thing happened. So Caron was still up when you left?
yeah, I gave it to a guy called Gus Jenkins, one of my commissioners.
I've met him.
Right.
He's nice.
He's a good guy.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know what happened to Con? From what I remember, it's been a long time. It's been 3 years since that last video. And what's happened? I think I was in the Con server. It got nuked. Is that right? It just got completely obliterated.
Yeah, after Gus left, I think Fred it was. I think it was Fred. Fred was just like, fuck it, and he just started deleting shit, which I didn't care.
Okay.
That was
So
well
is
after it was. That was well after it was dead.
right.
Carm was gone.
Is it
I had officially already made like an announcement post like we're shut down, and
oh,
then the server got nuked. But I
right.
mean, I still have the server. They just kind of
So
deleted the channels and stuff and like put on a funny logo, and that was it.
right. So Charon is just no more. It's gone. It's in the wind.
Yeah, I'm on Star Citizen now.
Yeah, we
That's
saw
right.
some stuff.
So I heard, and I did not know if this was true. You are on Star Citizen, which I'd imagine takes one hell of a PC to actually run.
Oh hell yeah!
Is Con Industries on PC, or is it a new group, or is it just you?
I've stepped back from being a leader. I don't like leading anymore. I'm really good at it. I can build great big huge groups. I really can. Carnum was not my first big group. I had
Oh,
made huge groups before Carnum. Like when I was a kid, like I
uh,
made it's kind of a weird thing that I know how to do really well. So that's why I was able to kind of make a 6,000 member group, is because the biggest group I ever made had 100,000.
what group was that?
It was not on GTA. It was not on Red Dead. It was when I was a kid and I was on Roblox,
Wow. Okay.
and it got up to 100,000 members.
Man,
And then I
that
was
was
like,
a real long time
I
ago.
want to make a GTA group with me and 3 of my buddies as a pastime. And then that turned into a huge group.
Right. So, are you on a group on Star Citizen?
I am. I'm part of a group called Brave and Bound.
Okay. And what do you do there?
I'm a lot of Star Citizen players are the average age of a Star Citizen player is 28.
Yeah.
So a lot of these guys are like older guys, like 40s, 30s, whatever. So they're not quite as cracked when it comes to combat.
Uh,
When it came to Red Dead, my style had always been I had a unique build on Red Dead. And I was kind of well known for it. I was not a painted black guy. I had the most disgusting SNS sniper build
Tank build, yeah.
in
I
the
remember.
world. I mean, you could hit me with a dynamite arrow, it would not do shit to me. And I would surround myself with guardians who would use like slippery bastard and paint it black. So trying to kill me was a pain in the dick. Like, like getting close to me was annoying as fuck. I carried a sniper and a shotgun. Like, it would take 2 dynamite arrows, or it would take spamming me with. I mean, you could empty like an entire like 2 Mausers worth of explosive ammo into me. It would do nothing. I had a glitched card build,
oh.
which no one else to this day knows how to do, and it can't be done anymore. I had stacked cards. So you could only have one like Deadeye card, but there was a way for a little bit to get those other 3 cards to put another card on top of it and give you both the effects. So I can't remember what the 3 cards underneath were, but they basically just like gave me more health. They were like extra defensive cards. And then I put on like Gunslinger and like some of the other cards on top of that. So I had huge bonuses in terms of like my abilities on there. I would drink a tier 3 tonic. Unfucking killable. And I use that for years. And again, I think it still is in effect. I still can't get rid of it. Like I'm still hard as shit to kill. Like I can put any of the 3 cards on top of it, but those 3 cards underneath are still there.
Right. Okay. That's pretty cool. So what is the group on Star Citizen? What's going on there? Is it sort
It's
of like Charon?
a little bit. It's called Ravenbound. I was part of a different group for a little bit, but that group shut down. It's called Skunkworks. But I was part of it. I'm part of a group called Ravenbound now. And I'm our sniper on that because I was a sniper on Red Dead. I'm pretty good at it. Star Citizen sniping's a little bit weirder. It's longer distances, and you have to bullet drop and all these other things. I fucking love it. Star Citizen does something that Red Dead doesn't, and
Yes.
that's if you die, you have consequences.
Oh,
If you
Yeah.
die, you're out of the fight for 30 minutes to an hour, and it costs you a lot to come back into the fight. It costs you a ship, it costs you your gear, it costs you whatever ammo you brought, it costs you whatever weapons you brought, and some of the weapons can't be bought. Sometimes your weapon you have to go out and find. So when I go into these battles on Star Citizen, I drop like 25 bombs
oh,
before I die.
yeah, yeah. So, Star Citizen, it's like space. It's like I mean, it's Elite Dangerous on steroids, really. So do you
But
do
there's
like,
ground combat, so that's
yeah,
what
do
I
you do
love
that
about that.
primarily?
I'm mostly a ground combat guy. Yeah,
Okay. Do you sort of lead like a squad, or do you just like sort of just snipe?
I do. I run a squad called Gander,
Right on.
which is mostly comprised of old Caron folk.
Really?
Yeah, and
Wow.
that's the team that I roll with, and we fucking mollywop entire companies and orgs. And the server
So
sizes on Star Citizen are way bigger than they are in Red Dead.
yeah, I'd
Like
imagine.
right now, after the server max is like 120,
Wow.
so you'd get into like 60v60 fights.
Yeah. Is this be like this is other clans or
Yeah,
just like
yeah. You need clans to do well in Star Citizen. Some of these ships you
yeah,
can't even do anything with unless you have like 6 people manning it.
yeah. So, there's other clans. Do you like I've never played this. I don't know on PC. Um so do you I don't know. Is there like a space sort of division that does like dogfighting with jets and well
Yeah,
jets,
we have people who fly. So we have it's kind of split up like Karna a little bit. We have teams that are in the air and we have teams that are on the ground.
Yeah.
And I run. There's 2 different ground teams. There's Fenrir and Gander, and
Uh,
I run Gander.
right. Is there actual beef between clans or is it friendly or
No,
I
there's
don't
no beef
know.
between clans.
Uh,
The only person that's kind of disliked in the Star Citizen community is a guy called Buzzcut Psycho.
oh, why's that?
He's what's the way to describe him? Do you guys know Mr. Squidward in the Red Dead community?
I think I've heard of that.
He's
Uh,
like that. He's such a bad person that a U.S. congressman has talked about him.
oh, okay. That's
He was
okay.
he was a big guy on a game called Planet Side 2, where
Oh,
he
yeah.
I think he bullied a congressman's son into killing himself or something like that. And the
Wow.
congressman
Jesus.
tried to pass a bill to ban gaming because of that, and it was like him at the focus of it. And now he's on Star Citizen and he runs a group there, and so people dislike him. But for the most part, um I don't really know any groups that really hate each other.
Is there like events between groups? Like, okay, we'll just have like a
Oh
friendly
yeah,
scrap or
all the time, and
um
they're always friendly. They're always so nice, and they're so cordial with each other.
yeah, okay. So yeah, it's just like a nice
They
game.
do yeah, they come across it's so nice. You have no idea. Um yeah, they have these like here, we're gonna fight you for control of this objective. We want to take it from you. What time are you guys free? Like
Oh,
that's the kind of thing. It's like, hey, do you guys need any more time to prepare your guys' tanks or anything like that? Is everything okay? And they're like, okay, all right, let's go.
so is
And
there like
like
resource
when
wars on Star Citizen?
yeah, one of the times it's kind of a resource war, kind of a time thing. Sometimes you put like a time limit on it, right?
Uh,
Because you don't want things to drag out too long. Because people have lives on Star Citizen, which
yeah.
is a weird change of pace. But yeah, one of the times that we won a war was I had the Fenrir team, which is like a scouting team. They dropped me and my team off after we had fought from the objective, which is the point that we were trying to take, all the way up into where they were staging their vehicles. So they had these bigger ships, which were housing a bunch of cargo. So they had guns in it, they had armor in it, they had miniature vehicles inside of these ships. And what's cool about Star Citizen is you can walk around the inside of the ship and whatever.
Yeah.
So inside of these ships, they had all of their like battle equipment. We pushed all the way up there, and then I, on foot, just ran into one of their ships and started hitting self-destruct on every ship around their staging area, and just started blowing up all of their ships. And as soon as that happened, they were like, "We give up. We're done. We're done. We're done." Before any more of their ships blew up, because they don't want to lose the cargo and the vehicles and the insurance claims, and they don't want to lose all those resources. But I was just hitting blow up on everything.
Yeah. So from what I know though, like Star Citizen is. Do you know Elite Dangerous?
Yeah.
Is it like it's Elite Dangerous, but like sort of more expanded? Like, is there like different planets? There's different star systems. It's sort of like that whole sort of deal. Or?
Yeah, kind of. Think about Elite Dangerous if you could walk around your ship and if it was super realistic.
Yeah.
Like if you could in Star Citizen is so realistic. Here's a typical day in Star Citizen. You spawn in, you walk out of your habitation, you go downstairs, you have to take a train. You take a train to the city, you buy whatever food or supplies you need. You take a train to the airport, you claim your ship rises out of a hangar bay. You load up your ship with whatever you need, you take off on your ship gets blown up by another player. Another player later in the day comes by to your blown up ship and uses his ship to scrape the materials off the side of your ship, because the ships don't despawn. Everything is persistent. Everything inside of that ship is still there. All of your armor is still there. All of your gear is still there. And so they scrape off all the materials on that ship, and then they load all those materials into a giant cargo ship, and then the players are guarding that cargo ship to make sure people don't try to steal it. And then pirates could come by and try to steal the cargo in the cargo ship, and then sell that at an illegal outpost where they might get shot and stolen for their armor. That's the kind of thing that Star Citizen has.
Yeah,
it's all
my
player
curiosity is
interaction.
piqued. I'll be completely honest. Like Red Dead is cool and all, but I have a feeling. Well, my fucking feelings. I personally think that I'd rather conversate about Star Citizen.
If you want to see, if you want to see, here, hold on. Maybe I can do this real quick. Are you guys able to watch videos, or are you guys on like the Xbox?
Or an Xbox.
I'm on
I
Xbox.
mean, if you want to send videos, we can watch later. But
I was gonna say, like, am I able to share my screen or something, or no? Would it work on Xbox?
And it won't. No, sorry.
It's whatever. But yeah,
I use my personal YouTube channel called Cutter Locus, and I have a bunch of Red Dead videos up on there, or not Red Dead. A bunch of Star Citizen videos up on there.
Well, I personally, I don't blame
7
you
months
for.
ago, I think I put them to private and then re-uploaded them, so all of them say 7 months ago, but some of them are older.
But
I've been doing it for
personally, I don't blame you for moving on to Red Dead, or moving on from, because Star Citizen genuinely has piqued my interest. It certainly seems more fun than fucking.
Sounds like awesome. Like doing like
ground
combat. You can like call in like an actual like airstrike and shit. It's fucking sick.
Like actually fucking fun,
Yeah, well, the airstrike is actually the airstrike's
like
an actual
flying a
bomber.
Yeah, that seems way more fun than whatever the fuck's on Red Dead now, especially nowadays. But yeah, so just one last thing to ask you about. I don't know if you ever seen this video. There's like two more things actually. This and the closing statement. I could not for the life of me find this video. I searched for an hour. I remember this guy who played YouTube. This is played Red Dead. This is 3 years ago. This video was made. 4 probably. He I guess he just knew how to record, and he had a friend who was in Charon, or was in a clan who was an enemy of Charon. And the guy recording asked him. I don't think he asked. He was just conversating with his friend, and his friend he just talking about rumors. You've brought up that rumors are very irritating. It seems like he's certainly persisted in these rumors, considering that they made a whole fucking video on it. But there was,
I know which video you're talking about. It's this guy. He's like Car and Industry Exposed or something like that.
that's probably what it is. The
yeah.
first thing he said was that um, you had a second in command who was dating Isabella, and that you stole Isabella from the second command, and then you booted the second in command from your crew. Was that true?
No.
Okay.
Isabel was dating somebody at the time, but they weren't in the community.
Okay.
Yeah, no. They also accused me of I think that's around the same time as like when Zeus passed away.
Yes, that was another topic in the video. Was
Yeah,
that
it was around the time that Zeus passed away, and they were talking about like I don't think the guy understood well enough because he's like, I can't believe Cutter would say this, and it shows a screenshot of Sober.
Yeah, actually, here's the video.
It's
This is the
Zeus.
video I'm referring to right here. This is a 25-minute long video.
Yeah. For some reason, he attributes a lot of what Sober did to me, which is just he's pulling up screenshots of Sober saying things and saying it's me, and it's just I don't think the guy understood fully what was going on, and even the guy that he's interviewing would be like, yeah, Sober did this and it was terrible, and he was saying this, and Cutter would respond like this, and he's like, I can't believe Cutter would say that. Look, and he put up a screenshot of it, and it was like, again, Sober. Like if you jump to any moment in the video, you can just see like mostly messages from Sober.
Yeah,
which is weird because I don't know. Like here, at 5 minutes and 24 seconds. That's Sober. That's a message that I exposed of Sober, which reads, on the topic of Lubber's death, he was definitely too young to die, but TBH, I would laugh if Zeus died just right now. That's Sober, not me. Like, again, I never wished that would happen to Zeus. I actually had a lot of respect for Zeus, and before Zeus passed away, we had a conversation. We hashed things out, and a lot of Zeus's friends will attest to that. But I don't know who the guy in the video is, the Car Industries member, because it doesn't sound like anybody that I know. It sounds like either like a low rank or a core member, quite frankly.
Right. So,
and the guy who made the video is on PlayStation, so he has no fucking idea what's going on.
Okay. So he's just it's just rumors. He's just insinuating rumors and bullshit.
It's the guy's most popular video. At the end of the day, I mean, I'm not gonna jump on him and be like, no, listen, here's the actual facts. You got this. I'm not gonna do it. If you watch the video and if you actually listen to what the guy's saying, it's just speculation.
Yeah,
they kind of make me out to be a bigger boogeyman than I am. He's talking about at some point he's like, yeah, well, they have spies in every crew. That's true. But like the more heinous shit of just like, yeah, they would boot everybody. No, like to two extents. Here's the problem again. If you're in a battle and you're losing and you want to get out of it, right? If Karin has 50 people in the lobby, or like not 50, but if they have like 30 people in the lobby and it's you and one of your buddies, and you kind of want to get out of the battle, or if you want to leave the battle but your leader is telling you to stay in, you just go, I got booted, I gotta go. I got booted, man. I can't do this. I got booted. Yeah. And then the leader will sit there and be like, Karin booted them offline? How dare they? And it's just like, no, dude, you just wanted to leave the battle. Or you just fucking disconnect because it's Red Dead.
Yeah.
Or and I caught members of my own group doing this. Unplugging their routers. You take a video of your screen. If you ever see somebody like recording on their phone and then suddenly their internet cuts out and they're like, oh, they just unplug their router. There's no reason that you would expect that to happen. What's another thing that commonly happened? We did have, and I'll admit this, and I've always admitted this, Caron members have booted. Did they get kicked out for it? Yes. We had a list that we would keep of everybody who went to a specific battle. and then we would check at the end of those battles if there was a lot of booting accusations, and then we would highlight all the names, and then the next battle, if there was a lot of accusations, we would check who was at both, and then we would interview them, and we would try to act like we already knew, and then if they admitted it, we'd just kick them out. And it happened more often than you'd think, but we'd be like, we know what you did. Why were you booting people? And if they went, no, I'm not, we'd be like, all right, you're fine. But if they were like, yeah, all right, you got me, like, oh, fucking, we got him. Come out.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, booting doesn't win me the battle.
No.
Like,
No.
it gets one guy out of the lobby, right? For 5 minutes or whatever the fuck. But the amount of work that I have to do after the fact to clean up that mess is never worth it to me. Which is why I'm not a big fan of it. Like, and again, even in this video, I think the former Karon guy is like, yeah, and they would boot people all the time. No, like, the only time there was ever me saying that is during the USMCX war. And that was, and the old one, the GTA one, where I put up this threat on my story saying, we'll do it back to you, blah, 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 because we were getting booted. We didn't know how to. Obviously nowadays I know. I mean, anybody, it's pretty easy. You just type in a website, you Google free boot, and you can find any booting software. And you know when Okta stuff around, you could obviously just go on there and just grab anybody's IP. So it became super accessible for people. But at the time that I made that threat, no, I didn't know how. You needed to get like a paid software, and you had to download this like Lance, whatever the fuck, and actually like know how to like sort out ports and stuff like that. I don't know how to do that. I'm not a coding guy. I'm an engineer. So I don't know how to do any of that. But no, it's just, again, it's sometimes easier to just kind of make shit up. Or if you hear a rumor, just to perpetuate it. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, I had a big group. I had fun. I had friends in there. A lot of the people in Karon were actually my friends. So, at the end of the day, I wasn't trying to be a boogeyman.
Yeah.
I was just trying to play fucking a cowboy video game. But a lot of people take it way too seriously.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just finally, last but not least, just anything you want to say? Any just statement? Literally anything you want to say. Final statement.
I think the community's toxic as fuck still, and it's getting worse.
It is getting worse.
What
Like,
people don't
exponentially
realize is, and a lot of people realize it now, Karon kept the community in check. Like, if a clan was super toxic, Karon would wipe them out. We'd get rid of them. Like, when we had the White Brotherhood or William Powell Militia, groups like that, we'd get rid of them. The groups that were doing, like, the defensive mode, and the guys who were doing, like, these glitches and God mode and things like this, Karon would get them out of the community. But when you have the current community and you don't have a big dog anymore, there's no big dog in the community anymore. People just do what they fucking want.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Karon, we would help build up these nice crews, and we would help attack these bad crews, at least from our perspective. From everybody else's perspective, they're always the good guy. I always perceived Karon as the good guy. I'm sure the groups that we attacked thought of us as the devil. But when I would see a group that I thought was nice and good people, I would help build them up. When they became assholes and started overstepping or threatening other groups or stuff like that, we would shut them down. Karon shut down a lot of groups. If you go through our Instagram stories or like highlights or whatever, and you scroll through, you'll see a fuck ton of groups that we've been up against that never got a YouTube video. But we would just shut them the fuck down, and we would post them up there like, hey, don't do this. The problem came once Karon left. There was no more kind of policing going on. There was nobody helping new groups get established. Because Karon
just
could help
gets swept away.
Yeah, Karan could help a group get established, and we did it all the time. We had somebody who we didn't think was, a good fit for Karan. Fuck it, send it over to Gaia, send it over to Karvka, send it over to whoever, and we would send these groups members, and you can go ask them. And we absolutely did. We helped build a lot of these groups. We helped build Core, we helped build Gaia, we helped build Karvka, we helped Western Empire, we helped First IR, we helped all these groups get established on Red Dead. We were allies with Mob when Mob first came out.
Yep.
A
I
lot
remember
of
that.
most of them, everybody I think in Red Dead now had at least some connection to Karan, which cannot be said for any other group that ever existed on Red Dead. Nobody else had the wide reach of we had a hand in every pie quite like Karan did. Because I'm sure all of you guys know at least one former Karan member.
I mean, I was in Coron for a little bit. Wasn't a high rank or nothing.
My
but,
exact point.
Yeah.
Karan was big as fuck, and I'm sure you know how Karan operated. When you were in Karan, did you ever perceive us as we were the bad guys trying to do bad shit and trying to fuck with people?
I mean, I was so new then. I didn't really know what was going on. And I ended up just kind of leaving after a while, and I kind of came back in, and then the rest is history, and now I'm kind of right back to the beginning talking to you.
Yeah. But again, you had a history with Karan.
Yeah.
Fuck ton of the community is like that. I mean, when you were there, it was huge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just how Karan was. My favorite thing about Karan is still our music videos, because those really show what Karan was actually like on a day-to-day basis. Because it wasn't just fights. We did a lot of hanging out. We did a lot of trainings. We did a lot of events. Other than just battles all the time. Did you ever go to any of those, Duan?
I remember fighting Mob a few times, but like I said, I was like level 20. That was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Do you remember your BCT?
I think I do. I remember speaking to you like once in passing, or no, it was actually what it was is we were fighting. I think it was Mob again, and we were outside Valentine, and you were like, "Oh, I need like how many people are there?" And I was the person that told you how many people there were. Like it was just one of those fights, just like in passing. But that was it. Like I encountered you then when I started.
Did I ever leave a bad impression on you?
I mean, like it wasn't really good or bad because it was just so small. So it was just like, oh, yeah, he's here, he's gone. That was it. It wasn't good or bad. You know what I mean?
Fully
Just,
to
it
a
was just
fault.
really short.
Sometimes I had a bit of an ego, and fully to a fault, I'll admit that. I'll admit my own flaws, but I never tried to be. I tried to be really
Wasn't
nice.
even like a literal 5-second
I wonder if
interaction.
do we have any DMs between each other? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice of me.
Yeah. So like I said, that's like it's crazy because like to me it's like I started in this community like crazy like after everything because I got like we went off and did our own things for a long time and written about some of it now and that's like it's kind of like talking it's coming like full circle by talking to you again.
At the time that I left, people kind of saw me as like the boogeyman of Red Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And as time has gone on, they're like, oh, Cutter really wasn't that bad. Like, Cutter just had a lot of power.
Like
that was.
I don't think
had a
people
lot
realized.
Of power.
Yeah.
And I really tried not to abuse it. I had a 6,000 member group. I could have done whatever the fuck I wanted. Instead, I tried to help build up other groups, which not the worst thing you could be doing with 6,000. I could be fucking wiping out every crew and absorbing them. I could have never made Core. I could have never helped make Gaia. I could have absorbed Gaia. I could have never helped make Karvka. I could have absorbed Karvka. I could have just taken all these crews and just made Red Dead one big group that everybody goes to for money and to help them out with stuff. But I wanted a community. I wanted little factions running around. I wanted to help those factions grow. Which is why, and you might know this, we had a fuck ton of allies. So we could call
Yeah.
on anybody to just show up to help us. We genuinely had more friends than enemies. The problem is our friends are not just going to constantly make story posts about us sucking our dicks. Our enemies are going to make constant posts about us talking shit. But
Yeah.
yeah, you won't see Carvka bring up Karon, but if you go ask Carvka, they'll be like, yeah, I fucking love Cutter. Cutter was my best friend. He always fucking helped me out with everything, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, a lot of these groups have come and gone. I really don't like the Red Dead community now.
Yeah.
Like the way that it is now, I think I logged on a couple days ago. And then the reason I logged on is because Ashton was online. And Ashton Felix is one of those original 3 Kara members.
Oh, wow.
And I saw him on, and I loaded up into a lobby, and there was he was him and Valentine at the bar. I walked up to him, invited him to a party, and then 2 guys from, I can't remember what clan at this time. It was a couple days ago, but I can't remember what clan it is. I don't care. I think it was like SKS or something like that. Is that a clan? It started with an S.
SYS?
SYS, that's them.
SYS, yeah, Sen, or something, dumb shit like that.
Yeah, they were there. There was 2 of them, and they were in defensive mode. And they tried to pick a fight with us. But that's the problem with the Red Dead community now. It's like, are you gonna fight us in fucking defensive mode?
Oh yeah, people do that
Yeah.
all the time.
Fucking kidding me?
People make
Yeah.
montages on that shit now. It's actually
Yeah.
like
It's actually crazy.
And
Yeah.
again, he's in defensive mode. He hits me with the four double barrel shots. Problem, my SNS build that won't kill me. So he has to bola me and then walk up to me, and then do 4 double barrels and then another 2 double barrels to kill me, all to the head. But hold on.
yeah.
Yeah. I do appreciate
Like-
you guys going out and exposing kind of the truth about it. I tell you to take things with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
The best person who was there exposing people. Have you guys ever heard of a guy called Done For? He isn't Done For.
No.
I don't think so.
He was like this weird Red Dead hacker around the time. And when I say hacker, I mean like he was a hacker. Like nobody knew what his actual username was, but he was in the community. And he spent 100% of his time exposing pedophiles.
So worthy
Like-
cause.
Oh yeah. He had an innocence list and then he had his exposed list. I think I'm on the innocence list if I remember, but that was the last person I remember that was just like trying to expose the bad in the community without any bias. Because he went after Kara members. He exposed
Yeah.
Kara members. He exposed Dandy, who was a friend of mine, and I had to kick out Dandy after I found out. Because this dude would hack into your everything. When he was checking me to put me on the innocence list, oh my god. I'd never been more scared in my life. Like, he got into my bank account. He got into my Snapchat messages.
Jesus.
He got into my everything. He had my private messages with Isabel. Oh, he had everything. And eventually he was just like, you're fine. And then none of whatever he had ever made it to the light of day. Because he showed me everything he had on me. He had my social security number.
Jesus Christ.
And if he was a malicious actor in the community, he could have exposed it. He took over people's Xbox accounts. Like people that he had found out, he would take over their account. He has it on their thing. Like he took over, I think, Vrokta's Xbox account, took it over. And then he's posting his messages between Vrokta and like a minor girl. And he would post up the DMs from the perspective of Vrokta from the account that he took over. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the last person, I think, in the Red Dead community who just like did this shit for no bias. Are you guys part of any group? Because I don't see any general bias.
Nope.
No. Nope. Not
Yeah.
anywhere.
So that's kind of what I was meaning. Like, you guys aren't loyal to a group. You guys are just doing it to make the community a little bit less toxic.
Like the problem is though that so many people look at their own groups with rose tinted glasses. So when it comes to like us saying something about that, like their group, let's say, like whoever it may be, we always get flack, always, because it's like, how can my friends ever be so bad? And it's like, well, if you look at this objectively, they are bad people.
To a degree,
Yeah, is that we can't post like anything exposing anyone, and nobody actually reads what we put down.
That's
It seems like that sometimes.
Like,
another read it
we
fully.
like you have to like shove it in their face for them to actually like even take the time to understand what we're trying to even expose.
To be fair, you guys had a bit of a meme era, which I think made people
Yeah, a lot of shit posts. A lot of shit posts.
I'm pretty sure one of the shit posts is me. Hold on.
Possibly.
Here it is.
A lot of shit posts.
Cutter locus has been located and found hiding in the Nile River, harboring the dead offspring of Papa Smurf. After heavy interrogation, Cutter locus has has admitted to tarnishing and slicing Papa Smurf's offspring after catching them transporting Isabel Locus's left nut.
Yes.
So when you guys go from that to like serious journalism, yeah, it's a little bit difficult. I don't care.
Well-
I don't care if a shit post is made about me. I have thick skin. Surprisingly, I don't care, and I don't care about the community anymore. Make memes. I'm fine.
Like
I'm okay
Yeah.
with how I look.
we just like the way we see it is like it's conspiracy. You know what I mean? Like people overlook that so much. So it's like we can just throw out
Right, just
batshit
throwing out
stuff,
shit.
and then we'll just throw out like serious stuff. Like you never know what's coming out.
I'm
Like, a
wondering.
lot of these-
I'm trying to think of like the biggest conspiracy I think that was about me was people thought that I was like a booting mastermind. And to this day, I don't know how to do that. You can do the free thing, but like, yeah, everybody was like, yeah, and he would knock off whole teams. I'm like, I don't know how to fucking do that. Or like they thought that I had like a network of blah blah blah. No, like that was the biggest conspiracy that I think ever existed about me. Either that or that I was 40 years old.
Wow.
That one was a weird one. I have a deep voice. So when I used to tell people like, yeah, dude, I'm 20 or I'm 19, people are like, no. I'm 6'7" in real life, so I'm gonna have a deep voice. Like that comes with the territory.
Yeah, we just, try and do some shit posts, some funny stuff in between the actually awful shit,
Yeah.
But,
Like
yeah.
people we get particular reactions. If you ever take a look at the comments, people are like, no, it's nonsense. It's all nonsense. Like
A
even though
lot of it's just to the best of our ability,
we
as well as
paint
to
like
fucking
you know,
make conspiracies.
we can only do so much, but I mean I would say that the things we posted are accurate to about 95%.
Well,
That's good.
yeah, so, closing message. I mean, is there
Leave
anything
Red
else you'd
Dead.
like
Come
to
play
add,
Star
anybody?
Citizen. Come join the Star Citizen Mafia.
Star Citizen does sound like a lot better. If only I had a PC. Yeah, I think anybody playing Red Dead should probably just move on to different games. But yeah.
Another Red Dead person just went to Star Citizen. I don't know. I don't remember how to pronounce her name in the old way. You guys know Oxriv or something? Oxriva or V Pixia?
I don't think so. I don't think I've
Sounds
heard that.
vaguely familiar, but no.
She changes her fucking name all the time. Xaurvra. She just she used to lead I can't remember which group it was. But yeah, she just bought Star Citizen and she was telling me about it. She saw some of my posts and then her boyfriend found it and then her boyfriend started playing and then now she's gonna play it. Cool fucking game. Look it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it seems.
But get off of RDR. It's fucking toxic and the game's dead. But get off of RDR. It's fucking toxic and the game's dead. Wait for GTA 6
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think GTA 6 actually got delayed to like 2027 is the supposed rumor right now, so I don't understand what people are going to do on RDR for the next 3 years about that.
Yeah.
You know, and like World 1 to PC players, you'll have to wait another 12 months after that, because that's usually how Rockstar games go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might bring back Karin for GTA 6. Is
Oh.
that a good?
Like
Is that a good closing statement?
I feel like everyone's going to be on GTA 6. Like literally everyone who's ever done any community, GTA, Red Dead, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I don't restart Karin, I'm gonna go to Sons of War because I think they're a
Yeah.
great group. I think
Oh, that's Will Warkey, right? That's the guy that. Is that not
Yeah.
the Sons of War MC? Yeah.
yeah, he makes like machinima.
Yeah,
Yes.
he made
Yeah.
I love that dude.
he made one or two videos on WE as well.
Yeah.
One of them calls us conspiracy theorists, so that's great.
Not necessarily wrong, but
I don't know. I love him though. I've had a good connection with him for a while. He puts me in his machinimas. Sometimes without me knowing, like I'll just go watch one of his videos, and then there's like an AI voice model that's like a deep voice. That's me.
oh.
I don't
Well,
know.
yeah.
I told him now just to reach out to me if he needs me to record lines. So in the newest episode that I think is coming out, there's some voice lines for me in it because I'm a character in it apparently.
Oh wow. Damn. Oh, that's
That's
cool.
cool.
Well, final message, all that's done, I think.
Leave
Yeah,
RDR, come to Star Citizen, or join me in GTA 6.
yeah, okay. That was a good little conversation. If you have a good rest of your day, thank you for conversating with us. Have a good one.
Alrighty,
Yeah.
guys, appreciate it.
Yeah,
You guys
No
going to do a
problem.
bunch of other interviews with other people? You think? How many other people have you done?
Like
I don't know.
the
Have
door
to
is pretty
see.
much open to anyone, even we don't get along with, but we're not afraid to talk to anyone, like literally anybody. But some people just don't want to face the heat, I guess, of doing bad shit.
Oh, I don't give a shit. Yeah,
like,
I'll defend myself as. Here's the problem. I know I didn't do anything wrong.
yeah,
So like
I'm not. Yeah,
I can explain every single one of my actions to myself, unless I can explain it to other people. Not a lot of other people can do that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Especially when like
Yeah.
other people's actions are, like
And at,
bad
and
as
at
some
the
of them
end of
are.
the day, even if I did do something bad and I talked about it, I have no repercussions. I'm not in the community. I'll tell you if I did something bad. I don't care. What am I protecting? I'm not here anymore.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
I
think I
understand
have
that.
a little bit more room to breathe truthfully than anybody else. Because if I don't like somebody,
Yeah.
I can tell you I don't like somebody. I don't have to worry. Oh well, they might attack me at the end of this interview. No, I don't give a fuck. I'll tell
Yeah.
you. I'll tell you what happened, why it happened, what I did wrong. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be curious to like talk to like someone like Swift or just like other older crew leaders, that are just
That's a
not
great
around
guy.
anymore.
He's
Like,
a good guy.
as much
He's
as
very
Right.
business minded. Like he knows kind of the right. He knows how to play the game, right? Not
Yeah.
Red Dead. He knows how to play the game. Like
Yeah.
he knows how to say things in the right way, present things in the right way, lead people down a certain path, make people believe a certain thing. He knows how to play the game, and he's great at that. He's a good guy. He's not as terrible as people make him out to be. The same way that I'm not as terrible as people make me out to be, and sober in all intents and purposes isn't as bad as people make him out to be. Not a great guy, not as bad as people like to believe, and that's the same for everybody. A lot of people aren't as bad as the community tries to paint them. Who's the current punching bag?
Yeah.
Current punching bag? I don't know. I actually don't necessarily know, I suppose. Gosh.
I guess it was like that Imperial Volunteer Regiment.
Yes,
But,
yeah.
like-
Some people from WE Commandos are trying to come back, and they
Here's the
just
deal.
immediately got put down.
The people at WE aren't bad. They're not. They're not in some grand conspiracy to touch kids. They had a friend who did something stupid, and at the end of the day, they're always going to take the opinion of their friend over the opinion of people that they don't know. And you know, it takes an outside perspective to sometimes look inwards. So the people in WE aren't bad people. They're not evil. They're not.
Misguided.
They're not. Sure, but from their perspective, you've been misguided. What a lot of people lack is the ability to look from others' perspective. And if you only look and you look at Western Empire, you're like, oh my God, all these people they've been led to believe that it's okay and there's no problem here. From their perspective, it's like, oh, well, that's not really what happened. They were both young or whatever they've been led to believe. That's how they view it. You can just holler and scream at them all day. It's going to take a lot to change their mind. But if you actually just sit down and chat with people, you'll get a lot more information than trying to just
hound them down.
bash. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because we did kind of have that in one of their leaders in what was his name again? Grievous.
Grievous. Yeah.
And like we were like, maybe this is like change. And then he came out that he was like helping running like a huge doxing server and collecting like birth certificates on like kids or whatever. And I was like, wow, you really
Also,
let
there
us
was
down.
Commando Eagle. Commando Eagle was very recent.
That's not the first time that's happened. I'm sure I've exposed it in one of my videos of groups doing the same thing. It's happened before, it'll happen again. From the perspective of the leader, it's insurance. He doesn't think that he's going to be a bad guy, because I've always talked with these people after these things happen. From his perspective, the reason why they collect these doxing information, like you said, Gaia might be doing it. I don't think Coffee's doing it to actually dox people. I think Coffee's doing it as protection or as like a fear thing, right? Coffee's doing it because he wants people to really think twice before they come at him. And he's in his mind, I'm sure he's thinking, well, I'll only do it if they do X, Y, and Z, and it's fake, and then I have something even stronger to hit them back with that's real. That's his perspective. But is it the wrong thing to do? Yes. Will he see it that way? No. He'll see it as protection.
No.
And he'll argue with himself. Well, I'm not doing it first, and I'm not doing it maliciously, and blah blah blah. I'm doing it and that's just how perspective is. You just have to change your lenses every now and then. Nobody does things to be the bad guy. Everybody does things to be the hero in their own story. People just can't see that.
Like I said, I really do feel like the soldiers of WE and all their successor groups are not like evil, just misguided. But the commandos, I have no sympathy or pity for them.
Not really. I mean, if you go back, there was, Hex. Apparently, Hex, before he raped a woman, was also texting a minor, and they covered that up. And then there was Bane, and then there was Commando Eagle very recently, who a married man talking to a 16-year-old. And then
like again and again and again, these people keep doing the same fucking things. Like,
yeah.
So it's like one is bad, but like however many times this has gone on, and that's the stuff we know about. Like,
they still talk to Eagle, I do believe, or at the very least.
Like this is like the stuff we know about, and the stuff we know about isn't even like like 90%.
I mean,
of the
they go
stuff,
back to Halo Reach. They go back
90% of the stuff that group has luckily done
they're an OG.
stretches
They're an OG
back.
group.
stretches back, you know, and it's all buried.
Well, here's the deal. I'll also tell you this. Karan knew a lot of shit about a lot of different groups. And more often than not, let's say it's an ally of ours. And we found one of their members doing some whack shit, or we caught them in a sting, because sometimes we made stings to go after pedophiles in the community. Sometimes we would never make a video about it or post it on Instagram. We would just oust that person. We would have that crew kick that person out. And then whatever crew that person went to, we would have them kicked out as well. So, because some crews, if they have a member that's doing that, the crew doesn't deserve the negative reputation from it. Sometimes the crew doesn't fucking know. But you can't jump to the conclusion. But in the case of Western Empire, as somebody who was their ally, yeah, no, they're up to something. They're up to something fishy. They're up to some bad stuff. Which is why I had a private meeting with Western Empire, and which is why I told them they need to do X, Y, Z. And it's unfortunate that it seems like it's continued. And I'm sure that the most of the Western Empire members aren't bad people, but when there's a trend line, you have to sit there and you have to be like, well, they're not addressing this, and those people are still there. What's going on?
Yeah.
And it sounds like a leadership thing or a command thing.
Yeah, like leadership is just rotten to the core. They refuse to give up. They just refuse to yield. Pretty much every tactic under the sun to try and keep coming. I don't know why they do it, you know, and because there's a lot of people that say to us like, "You need to stop posting. You're this, that, whatever." And I'm just thinking to myself like, you know, like we'll stop posting when people stop doing bad shit.
You never will then.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it seems like it, unfortunately. It really does.
You know, people are gonna be assholes forever. That's a guarantee.
Yeah.
And rage is much easier than nice. I guess it's a lot easier to be angry at people than to get along with people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Well, all right, guys. I got to be heading out. I appreciate the interview. I appreciate talking with you guys. And
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the interview.
Really
Thank you
good.
for the conversation.
have a good night, guys.
Have a good
See
night.
you later.
Bye.
Bye bye.
You know, Quasimodo
Wait.
predicted all this.